Mary, we met for the first time at the Service User and Carer Conference at Reged, and you've gone a long way since then, haven't you? I would like to thank you for coming along and telling your story today, because it is inspirational.
You're very welcome.
So we'll start with the first question, which is obviously, when did you become ill and why?
I first became ill when I was about 15 years old. I took my first overdose and I started to cut myself. And it was as a result of childhood sexual abuse by my brother. And also at 15 I became pregnant and nobody knew about the pregnancy, and I lost the baby at 6 weeks. But again, I didn't tell anyone about it, so I dealt with it on my own. And I think those two factors contributed to me becoming ill.
Yes. I suppose the next question's got to be then, how did this affect you?
It affected my life in so many ways. When I was 17, I was admitted to my first psychiatric hospital, and I was under Section 3 of the Mental Health Act, and that was my life for the next 20 years. I was in and out of secure units and hospitals, always under Section 3 of the Mental Health Act. It affected my relationship with my family. My sisters, particularly my younger sister, didn't know how to cope with me or my illness. I didn't know how to cope with me or my illness. You know, my parents stood by me even when I must have been absolutely awful to them at times. And I felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt about being ill and being in and out of hospital, and I never wanted anyone to know. But now I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm content and I'm at peace with myself. I've got over that shame because nothing that has happened in my life has been my fault. And although I have made mistakes in my life, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them and you move on.
So when you say your illness, would you like to tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, my diagnosis is borderline personality disorder. And for a long time I thought that that meant that I was bad, that my personality was bad, that it meant that I was a bad person. And no one ever explained it to me. No one sat me down and explained what it meant or what the symptoms were, or I was always told that it was untreatable. And every time I went into hospital I had ECT and I was constantly restrained and sedated. My behaviour was very challenging because I didn't understand my borderline personality disorder, and I didn't know how to change my behaviour. And it wasn't until I came to Croflands Durham Hill that my key worker started to do work with me on understanding my borderline personality disorder, looking at the symptoms, looking at the symptoms that I have, and looking at coping with my BPD. And I'm not ashamed anymore. You know, if people ask me, I'll tell them I've got BPD because it's part of me. It's always going to be there, but it doesn't have to define me anymore.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Has there anything else happened during your life that has affected you?
A lot has happened in my life. My first admission to hospital when I was 17, I naively thought I was in a relationship with one of the male nurses, but the police actually said that he was grooming me from the start. And it was in a very abusive relationship. And again, I fell pregnant but he put so much pressure on me to get rid of the baby because he said it was evidence that I ended up miscarrying at 10 weeks, which was a lot harder. And again, no one knew about the pregnancy but me and him, and I didn't seek medical help. I dealt with it on my own. And although there was overwhelming evidence against him, because I was back in hospital under Section 3 of the Mental Health Act, the CPS decided that I would not be a credible witness. But he was sacked from the hospital, and the police were devastated that it hadn't gone to court.
Mm.
I was also raped when I was 16 by somebody that I had met in a club. And I was sexually assaulted when I went on holiday to Greece with my friends. And also something that I'm not ashamed of anymore, but I was for a very long time. When I was with that nurse in the hospital, after we'd slept together, he gave me money, and when I asked him what it was for, he said it was for services rendered. I felt that that was all I was worth. I was worth nothing more. And I felt a lot of shame about that for a long time. But I don't anymore.
Good.
You know, I don't feel ashamed. It's part of my life.
Yeah.
It was how I felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do it again. But thousands of women all over the world do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not ashamed. I think all these things that have happened have contributed to my illness and made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my dad has incurable cancer, and that is hard to live with each day.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a close family now, and I feel that not only have Durham Hill given me my life back, they've given me my family back, and that's priceless.
And that's amazing. Now, the other thing I would like to ask you is, what do you think the main reasons are for your amazing recovery?
I had a very good psychotherapist who not only talked about what had happened to me in my life, she made me look at myself, my mistakes, the roles that I played in things. She looked at things from different angles. She challenged me. The staff at Durham Hill gave me control back. They gave me independence. They made me make decisions for myself. And at first I used to kick against them and I used to hate them. But now I realise that's what I needed. All my life other people have made decisions for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at Crofton's Durham Hill, they gave me the tools to make decisions for myself, to be independent, to have control back over my life. I wrote my support plans at Durham Hill, my risk assessments. You know, they've helped me so much, and I think the fact that no matter how challenging my behaviour became, they never walked away. They never held it against me, and they always believed in me from day one. And they have done an amazing job in helping me get to where I am today. And they've helped me and given me the courage to heal, to let go of my past and to move forward.
And during the time that you were out of hospital, did you ever work?
I did work, yes. For 5 years I worked for Mind on the Wirral near Liverpool. I was assistant manager of housing and day services, and I managed to hold down that job for 5 years before, unfortunately, I had a relapse and I ended up back in hospital. But I've always worked. At 15 till I was 18 I worked in a hotel. But the job at Mind I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Yeah, it was stressful and it was challenging, but I think being both a service user and working in mental health has really worked to my advantage and has really helped me.
Yeah, I'm sure you helped a lot of other people as well.
And it's nice that you can do that, that you can help somebody else.
It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does.
The first thing you said to me when I met you again was that you forgave everybody.
I did. I forgave those that had hurt me. And I forgave myself. And now I'm at peace with myself and I'm content.
And you're going to move on to your new flat next week?
Yes, my own flat. First time in a long time that I'm going to be living independently. And 6 months ago I wouldn't have thought that was possible.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for telling us your story. It is truly inspirational, Mary.
Thank you. I mean, you're welcome. If my story helps just one person, it's worth it.